Why do some chapters of the Quran commence with mysterious, disjointed letters? These letters, known as Muqatta'at, have puzzled scholars and spiritual seekers for centuries, weaving a tapestry of intrigue and reverence around the sacred text. Among these letters, 3 stand out due to their unique aspects and the enigmatic layers they add to the Quran's verses: Shad, Qaf, and Nun. Shad, not a letter but a diacritical mark, appears over certain letters, doubling their consonantal sound, creating a phonetic emphasis that resonates deeply within the recitations of the Quran. This particular emphasis is found in Surah Sad, the 38th chapter. Here, Shad underscores the solemn and powerful messages conveyed, such as the steadfastness of prophets and the affirmation of divine revelation. Moving on to Qaf, a letter that graces the beginning of Surah Qaf, the 50th chapter. This surah delves into themes of resurrection and accountability, with Qaf possibly symbolizing the Quran itself or the majestic power of God, as some scholars interpret. The repetitive phonetic echo of Qaf throughout this surah subtly reinforces the omnipresence and omniscience of the Creator, as discussed in the verses. Nun, which starts Surah Al-Kalam, the 68th chapter, is equally fascinating. This letter might represent the pen, a primary symbol in this surah, which emphasizes the importance of knowledge, writing, and the divine decree. The chapter begins by swearing by the pen, highlighting its significance in the cosmic order and human civilization. The occurrences of these letters are not random, but are believed to carry deeper, hidden meanings that scholars have attempted to decode over centuries. Numerically, these letters also contribute to an intricate arithmetic pattern seen across the chapters they headline. For instance, the sum of the chapter numbers where these letters appear reveals interesting numerical patterns that some believe are indicative of the Quran's divine and complex architectural design. Certainly. Let's delve deeper into the connections you've highlighted regarding the Muqatta'at, the isolated letters at the beginning of certain surahs in the Quran, specific surahs, their first verses, and the associated numerical observations. Muqatta'at with Shad, ligatures with emphasis marks. Muqatta'at are sequences of Arabic letters that appear at the beginning of 29 surahs in the Quran. Some of these letters are accompanied by a shad, a diacritical mark indicating emphasis or doubling of the letter. Surahs 7:19-38. These are specific surahs you've identified. Surah 7, Al-Araf. It primarily deals with the stories of various prophets and their communities. Surah 19, Maryam. This surah is named after Mary, mother of Jesus, and includes stories related to her and the birth of Jesus. Surah 38, Sad. It addresses the challenges faced by Prophet Muhammad and affirms the Quran as a revelation from Allah. Ayah 1 of surahs on specific pages. You've noted where the first verse, Ayah 1, of each of these surahs appears in the Quran. Ayah 1 of Surah 7 is found on page 151. Ayah 1 of Surah 19 is found on page 305. Ayah 1 of Surah 38 is found on page 453. Numerical observations and connections. You've performed various numerical calculations and made connections based on these page numbers. For example, combining page numbers like 151 and 453 to derive 604, then interpreting 60 plus 4 equals sign 64, and noting that 8 circumflex 2 equals sign 64. You've also connected page numbers like 305 to the numerical breakdown, 3 plus 0 plus 5 equals sign 8, and associated this with Ayah 1 of Surah 19. Further connections with Muqatta'at. You've linked the Muqatta'at Qaf to Surahs 42, Ash-Shura, and 50, Qaf, noting that their sum is 92. This somehow leads to considering Surah 68, Al-Qalam, which starts with the letter Nun. Interpretation and significance. In Islamic scholarship, such numerical and linguistic patterns are often seen as indications of the Quran's miraculous nature and divine origin. They are believed to provide deeper layers of meaning and coherence within the text. Exploration and study. Scholars and enthusiasts of the Quran explore these patterns through disciplines like tafsir, Quranic exegesis, and ilm al-jam, numerology. These studies aim to uncover the profound wisdom and guidance embedded in the Quranic text. In summary, your exploration involves a detailed examination of numerical patterns and symbolic connections within the Quran, aiming to deepen understanding and appreciation of its structure and message. If you have specific questions or aspects you'd like to further explore, feel free to ask. Elaborate interconnection, Shad, Qaf, Nun. Certainly. Let's elaborate on the interconnections between the Muqatta'at Shad, Qaf, and Nun within the context of the Quran. Muqatta'at with Shad, Qaf, and Nun, Shad. Shad is a diacritical mark that emphasizes the letter it accompanies. It appears with certain Muqatta'at at the beginning of some surahs in the Quran, adding to their uniqueness and phonetic emphasis. Qaf is one of the Arabic letters that appears as a Muqatta'ah at the beginning of Surah 50. Qaf. This letter and its appearance are significant in Islamic numerology and exegesis, often interpreted in various symbolic and mystical contexts. Nun. Nun is another Arabic letter that appears as a Muqatta'ah at the beginning of Surah 68, Al-Kalam. This letter too holds symbolic and interpretive meanings within Islamic scholarship. Interconnections, numerical and symbolic significance. In Islamic numerology, ilm al-Jaffa, and esoteric interpretations, each of these letters, Shad, Qaf, and Nun, is associated with specific numerical values and deeper meanings. For instance, Shad with its accompanying letters may suggest emphasis or significance of the surahs it introduces. Qaf is associated with Surah 50 and can symbolize themes related to resurrection, revelation, or cosmic meanings. Nun in Surah 68 may signify themes of the pen, as the surah is named Al-Qalam, or other meanings attributed to this letter in its specific context. Spiritual and linguistic unity. The Quranic text is revered not only for its spiritual guidance, but also for its intricate linguistic and structural unity. The appearance of these Muqatta'at letters at the beginning of surahs is seen as part of the Quran's miraculous nature, reinforcing its divine origin and coherence. Interpretive depth. Scholars and seekers of knowledge delve into these Muqatta'at to uncover deeper layers of meaning and connections within the Quranic text. The interplay of letters, numbers, and textual contexts invites contemplation and study, enhancing understanding and spiritual growth. Conclusion: the interconnections between Muqatta'at such as Shad, Qaf, and Nun in the Quran exemplify the depth and complexity of the Quranic revelation. These letters not only serve as markers at the beginning of surahs, but also invite profound reflection on the unity, coherence, and divine wisdom encapsulated within the Quranic scripture. If you have further questions or wish to explore specific aspects in more detail, feel free to ask. In conclusion, the Muqatta'at, Shad, Qaf, and Nun serve not only as a profound spiritual and linguistic enigma, but also invite believers and scholars to ponder the limitless wisdom encapsulated in the Quran. Their presence underscores the text's miraculous nature, challenging the intellect and inspiring the soul. These letters remind us that within every line of the Quran, there exists an ocean of knowledge waiting to be explored through devotion, reflection, and scholarly inquiry.